immensely proud of him and his achievements, taken too early and so tragically from his family and the sport of rugby league. Chris Campbell is the match referee. He has seen plenty of these two sides over the past month or so, and he was in charge of the Catalan Dragons against St Helens last weekend, in which Morgan Escaray made his 5th appearance of the year at full-back. Stefan Ratchford is the opposite number, and well, conditions tonight perfect. The Catalan Dragons will be playing with a stiff breeze at their backs, but other than that, it's dry as a bone. The pitch is magnificent, and as Phil Clark rightly said, we should be in for a feast, and a feast of tries.
Yeah, we've seen it over the last couple of weeks, haven't we? The conditions, very, very wet, has certainly not helped the players out there. And last week against Hull, the error count, especially from Warrington, was, well, not to the liking of the coach, Tony Smith. They must have been working hard, but that is a good hit. Wonderful work from Darryl Clark there, right from the kickoff, helped out by Joe Westerman.
Yes, Anthony Maria felt that, his first start of 2016, having had 7 previously off the bench. It was a great chase from the kickoff by Darryl Clark, and a really good hit from the hooker as well. Good offload though. Indeed, from Pellissier, who finds Morgan Escaray.
And we'll see a lot from the fullback Escaray. We want to make sure that he'll follow the hooker. Pellissier is very, very quick from that dummy half position.
Busquet gets the Dragons to the halfway line. Here's the first kick of the night from Lucas Albert, and it's a good touch finder as well.
For those viewers that aren't regular followers of the Saturday edition of the Super League, don't watch the home games involved in the Catalan Dragons, they won't be aware of just what a threat the players have got. From 1 to 17, there is some size and there is some power, but they're all about attack. And Lucas Albert, he gained special praise from Todd Carney. I talked to him before the match and he said, look, I'm really enjoying playing with this young man. He's fit and he's strong and he's robust, but he's not afraid to defend.
Well, that was a good kick as well. They went early. Obviously a plan by the coach, Frissinu,
who is fulsome in his praise, by the way, of young Lucas Albert. But I must say, when you see him close up on the cameras, he has the film star looks as well, doesn't he? He's a good-looking lad.
Well, the one thing he does, not every halfback does, especially when they're starting out, he's run at defenders. Mike mentioned it before the match. He isn't afraid to take people on, and that's a wonderful attribute, and it's helped him to score some points and impress his teammates so far this year.
Here is Chris Hill, though, the Warrington skipper, who is ever present in all 34 games last year. He hasn't missed a game in 2016 either, and Darryl Clark makes a dash from dummy half.
And that's what Catalans have to do. We saw there the big fella, Chris Hill, the skipper.
Who wants this? Sandow's kick was knocked backwards, I think, by Kurt Gidley. It was, and the Dragons have the possession back in the shape of Remy Casti.
Just making a point, Eddie, in regards to Catalans, will make sure they've got to keep Chris Hill down. He gets over the advantage line, and if he plays the ball quickly, you'll guarantee that Darryl Clark will make metres forward. He already made 20 metres there from just one run from the dummy half position.
Here is Todd Carney. He is the engineer-in-chief for the Catalan Dragons.
To me, Aston, all for 3.
And solid defence again from the Warrington Wolves. There's Carney with the kick, again going early in the tackle count.
Yeah, on the third this occasion. That gives the indication that the Catalan side pretty fired up in their defensive line. It was a good kick and chase, but most unusual to see that they kicked so early. The last one was on the 4th, but that one, as you said, Eddie, on the 3rd. Unusual.
And 6 of the Warrington Wolves forwards just jogging back to get behind the first play the ball. They were caught somewhat out of position. Here is Sandow. He's inside the 40, going on an angled kick, looking for the 20-metre line, maybe on the far side. Escaray takes the ball forward.
Amazing, isn't it? Chris Sandow, he kicked on the 3rd as well. Both coaches testing their defensive line and the kick and chase.
I was listening, Barry, I'm one of the people who were with you on a Saturday, and I'm sure there are many others around the country as well who watches the Catalan Dragons home games when we have them week after week. You were mentioning last week with Bill and Terry that perhaps Morgan Escaray is in the shop window, and other clubs are eyeing the talent that he is.
Well, there are rumours that he's on the move and he's lost his replaced Morgan Escaré. Tony Gigot, who's playing in the centre tonight, wonderful runner of the ball. We see him just move the ball onto the edge with Jory Broughton. He's played mainly in the full-back role, so Morgan Escaré, I think he's missing a little bit of confidence. And if he gets his first involvement right, we could see the best of him.
Good crossfield kick there, though, from Carney. It's palmed backwards. Picked up by Casti. Here is Pellissier. Oh, that's far too strong from Elwar Pellissier.
Yeah, didn't get the backward spin on the ball under a lot of pressure. But he's a man that always is trying something different.
Leeds Rhinos up and running against the Wakefield Wildcats. They lead by 6 points to 0. They will not have given up the chase on Widnes after last night's defeat for the Vikings. And it will be very interesting if Leeds get their second win in a row at Wakefield tonight. Long way to go there, though. Long way to go here, of course. We're only at the 5th minute, and it's 0-0 at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium as Clark gets the ball away to Gidley, and he finds Westerman. Westerman on an angled run gets it away to Rhys Evans, and he now has Matty Russell restored to the side tonight after 3 matches out. His last appearance on the wing was against Castleford at the Magic Weekend, by the way. Here is Gidley in centre field. Gives it to Joe Westerman. And Westerman goes down in the tackle number 4. Clark again. Here is Sandow. Will they kick early this time? No, Sandow trying to come up with a little bit of magic. He went down the middle. It was a good tackle low down by Pellissier, helped out by Maria. And it's now with Gidley, who drifts the ball over the top of the defensive line. That takes a huge skip, though. Oh, and Escaré not taking any chances whatsoever.
Yeah, but he had his foot over the in-goal area, yes. So that's fine.
Who only just, or did he? Was the foot in the air, Stuart Cummings?
Well, it certainly looked that way, didn't it? I think he made contact just before he put his foot down, but he's got away with it.
Well, he wasn't sure either. He turned round, he wanted confirmation from one of the officials.
And Chris Campbell gave him that. This is Pat Richards now for the Dragons. Look, here it is. He makes contact with the foot in the air, and that should have been a goal line dropout.
Well, it was in slow motion, Eddie. It's pretty difficult to tell there. And, talking about the referee, Chris Campbell, I must say, you know, you talk about the fact that he's refereed both these sides quite a lot, but he has really come on a lot. He's improved each and every game.
Yes, the new faces in the referees' ranks doing well at the moment. And again, Carney kicking for territory down the right-hand side.
And perhaps did that touch a Warrington player? Seemed to change direction soon after he kicked the ball.
The Dragons are appealing, and I think Chris Campbell...
It does, it touches Ryan Atkins' right hand.
Yeah, he does indeed. Good spot,
Phil. He plays for it, puts his hands in the air. It's an attempt to charge the kick down. Catalan will get a great first chance here to attack. They very often do the unpredictable things here, but from this scrum play, they've got some fast players.
Well, Robert Hicks is having a look at this on the behest of referee Chris Campbell, and so I think the word will come in the ear now that this will be head and feed to the Catalan Dragons, and it is.
Little doubt about that.
Good appeal from the Dragons then.
Well, if you don't ask, sometimes you don't get. Oh, this is real pressure now for the home side.
This tactic of kicking early, reaping a little bit of reward early.
Yep. And you know, Catalan, they're not frightened to put on a set move in and around the base of the scrum.
Pellissier at the back of the scrum gives the ball to Albert. He goes round the first would-be tackler, which was Westerman. Good job, there were reinforcements there in the shape of Ratchford. And here they come now. It is Bacheri.
Oh, that was a swinging arm.
It is from Ashton Sims.
He didn't miss him either. The loose forward would have felt that. He swings right into it. Oh, that has got to be at least 10 minutes in the sink bin. That is no accident. You can see the arm come back.
Keep him down, mate. All right.
Now, will he have the confidence, Chris Campbell, to say, well, at least you can have 10 minutes? He's got to, surely, Stuart.
Well, it certainly looks that way. I would have thought minimum on report. But, you know, it's not a wrap-round tackle as they tend to look at now. It was certainly a swinging arm, and he's got him with the forearm.
Go for the 2.
I think he's a lucky man, and we'll probably hear a bit more about that in the week.
Well, I've seen them being sent off for just that same action. And it won't have done Bacheri any good either.
And the thing is, Stuart, even though these incidents these days not placed on report, the match review panel have close looks at everything that they get on a Monday morning, don't they?
They do, in very fine detail, and a good job to do too. Keeps our players safe.
Well, he lost his ever-present record when he was suspended against St Helens. He came back last week, and he's only missed that one throughout the course of the campaign. Now then, Pat Richards with the penalty attempt here. And 4 goals needed to pass Warrington's Lee Breers for 7th place on the all-time goal-kicking chart. and he manages to kick that one. So the Dragons lead by 2 points to 0. But I must say that Pat Richards, usually goal kicker supreme, 27 misses this year, the most in Super League, uncharacteristically erratic, but 977 points now in the British game.
But he's got that one, Eddie, and that's an important 2 points for the Catalan Dragons, and it was an important carry from Jason Battieri. Very tough, uncompromising character, very durable. He'll take them all day and all night for his side if they come up with the points as they did on that time.
And I think I'm right in saying last week the Catalan Dragons took an early kick as well to take a 2-point lead against the Saints.
Yeah, and I think some scars and some residual memories from the Magic weekend where Pat Richards, he was involved heavily with that, and it was a tremendous match. And I think he'll just want to get some runs on the board, some kicks through the H's, as they say, just to get that self-belief back when he's approaching the ball.
Here's Glenn Stewart now with a drive to the halfway line for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, Ashton Sims has to be extremely careful.
Give him 10.
And another early kick. They've kicked on the 4th, and well, the tactics seem to be playing well. Fresneau would be very, very pleased with the amount of time. Let's face it, Catalan have controlled everything so far. Okay, just under 10 minutes played.
I think he'll be pleased as well with the way that they've been doing some of the tackles. And you know, when you play against Warrington, if any of the guys bounce and hit the floor and then play the ball quickly, the likes of Darryl Clark and co just love a quick play of the ball. It's how Warrington very often spark forward from that and score so many of their tries. If you can control the Warrington players, as the Catalan Dragons have done, the attention to detail with the contact, how and where they tackle their opponents, the control around this part of the field has been brilliant for 9.5 minutes.
It looks to me, we're just coming up to 10 minutes, that both sides have said we need to build our way into this game. Particularly Warrington, over 20 mistakes in the match against Hull FC last week. They can't afford to give opportunities like that to the Dragons. And they look like, to me, they're concentrating and focusing on getting to the end of the set, and Catalan are doing likewise.
Oh, Sandow over the break. Upton-Nigley has support on his left-hand side. He has found Ryan Atkins, and Atkins will go over for the first try of this match. Perhaps a question mark about the pass that landed in the arms of Ryan Atkins. We shall have another look at that in a moment, but Ryan Atkins over for the first try. And, well, he's had 302 career appearances in 11 years. This is a great break from Sandow, a wonderful try from Atkins. But what about the pass, Timo?
Well, it looked slightly forward, but I think it's going to be level. The officials quite happy with it. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a momentum rule. Maybe he had to just lean forward. You can see that he nearly lost himself. But what about this defence here? They were all at sea. In fact, Catalan didn't have a first or second marker. Sandow took them apart, and Atkins, great support play.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with the pass. If you look at Sandow's hands, he's facing his own line when he gets the pass away from the hands, and Atkins, the man in support, over for the first try of the night, adjacent to the posts. He makes it 12 Super League tries for the season now, Ryan Atkins. And here is Kurt Gidley to try and add the extra 2, which he does with ease. Kurt Gidley played and scored in the last 8 prior to tonight. Ryan Atkins tried though, and Warrington have the lead.
Well, it's a wonderful break from Sandow, but Steph Ratchford, he's the player that hurries to play the ball, and the chance appears and pops up because of his haste, because of his work, and it's wonderful recognition from the fullback. You see the players in attendance. Glenn Stewart doesn't know whether to go in or come out, and that fight and that hustle gives Sandow the chance that he gratefully takes.
Oh, they've been very disappointed there, the Catalan side, because they, as I said, when you can't get a first or second marker in there, it leaves it wide open, and he's got the pace as Chris Sandow.
One thing I have noticed, Stuart, in the recent weeks, these kicking tees seem to be getting higher and higher. Isn't there some maximum height that they should have?
10 centimetres is the regulation height.
What's that in real money? Do you know how many inches?
Up to 3 inches, I think.
Okay.
Move away, 2. Hold, Jason. Hold it, go.
Well, they look a little bit higher than that to me.
Oh, big error.
Matty Russell has lost that in the challenge from Glenn Stewart.
Yeah, well, if there's ever any one man on this Catalan side, it's the second row Stewart that can really get himself underneath the ball carrying arm.
What a great player he is, Glenn Stewart. I think we're in the year of the 11s. There's the kicking tees.
4 inches they should be. That's 10 centimetres apparently.
Is it?
Pack it down.
Well,
in old
I'll trust you.
It's 4 inch.
I'll trust you.
Stuart and I are in the dark ages.
I'll trust you. Glenn Stewart and his work rate is phenomenal.
It's out.
Up until tonight, he's third on the defensive charts and behind 2 hookers, Danny Houghton and Sam Powell of Wigan, so he puts a good stint in.
This is Tony Gigot, and he will get to his feet and play it to Morgan Escaré. Here comes Vacheri again, bravely taking it forward, gets it away to Pellissier. Pellissier then finds Maria, and Maria goes down the middle, and it's the try scorer Ryan Atkins who brings him down. Here is Todd Carney now, gets it away to Glenn Stewart. Sandow bounces off him. Curry is waiting for him, and Curry effects the tackle. That's 3 gone. They're 5 metres away from the Warrington line. It's Carney again who gets it to Maria. He will trundle it towards those posts once more. Pellissier just quickly into dummy half. Oh, great short ball, great try from Julien Busquet. And that had the Warrington defence foxed all ends up.
Well, you can hear the Warrington fans booing. They thought that it was a delayed pass and it was a forward pass. Well, it was pretty 50-50 when Chris Sandow made the break.
They're not booing.
No, it was a short, lovely little pass. This is the error. And it made it quite easy, didn't it? Matthew Russell spilled the ball. He comes on the angle. That's where it's completely confused the defence, but I'm not so sure that was...
That's not forward, Steve. Well, that's a good, strong hard line. There's a lot of traffic on the outside, so too many Warrington defenders are possibly worried about what might happen. And they've not accounted for big Julien Busquet, who I think's one of the most improved players. And they have a player called Dave Taylor on the bus, the Coltrane. I think he is the bus, late bus. Me and Bill Arthur have nicknamed him. Runs hard and strong all day. And making a real name for himself, and he gets a rare start tonight, but he's showing his coach he can do it from the start. 10, 15, 20 minutes into it, I'll do what you want, coach.
Well, Pat Richards is bang in front, and his boot gives the Catalan Dragons a 2-point advantage again. Yes, we have the Coltrane, we have the bus, according to our Saturday boys.
Well, this will be disappointing for Warrington, because if these guys were playing touch rugby, that's still a try. Not one of the Wolves managed to make any contact with him. And to concede a try in the middle of the field when there's no fatigue really set in at 15 minutes would be a big concern, I think, for Warrington. Something they would speak about behind the post there. They didn't play particularly well last week, and in my eyes, they haven't started well tonight.
Well, it was a good run by this fellow, wasn't it? He came on the angle. It wasn't a normal trundle. And they usually go in a straight line, trying to break this line of defence. But when you come on that angle, it just... Well, it puts them off balance in that defensive effort.
Ratchford restarts then for the Warrington Wolves. The clouds have come across here late in the evening. What a mistake by the young man. Well, they get round him quickly. The 17-year-old pat him on the back, whisper in his ear, don't worry, don't worry. But, well, it's a great kick-off, hanging in the air and spiralling down. It's beaten older, more experienced players than Lucas Albert.
Yeah, you can see that he just got the technique wrong.
Well, he's taken 2 out of 3, and that ain't bad, is it? But so far here, he's going to get a lot more, I think, if they continue to score points.
I think the reason why he's so disappointed, he wasn't under any pressure whatsoever. You could have some sort of excuse if a Warrington player was in his eyes, but I'm afraid. But youngsters have to learn one way, and they'll certainly will on that occasion.
And this is a chance now for the Warrington Wolves. Leading still at Wakefield. You might have seen the other scores going through the bottom of your screen as well. Keep an eye on that as well as on this match. Keep them informed throughout the course of the evening. This is Gidley, and it's a test now of the Catalan Dragons' defence, big style. Darrell Clark gets it away to Sandow. He gives it some width and finds Curry. Further wide to Penny. And Lucas Albert, well, the mistake has been punished by Kevin Penny. And Penny on his return to the side, having missed the last 4 games since the defeat at Wakefield last month. He has made himself popular with 11 tries this year now.
This is the error. The youngster couldn't take it under no pressure whatsoever. The head went down slightly, but this is wonderful work by the three quarters. You can see the winger has been brought in. And this is poor defence. When you get to this position, you really should be man on man. You can see that Jody Broughton has gone away from the whitewash and allowed Penny in with an easy 4 points.
Well, that is a belting pass from Ben Curry. I think we've got two number 11s that could be possibly in the front running for the Man of Steel. Ben Curry for Warrington, Glenn Stewart for the Catalan Dragons, and if you throw Gareth Ellis in as well, I think the 3-11s could be having a good season come awards time. But it was an outstanding pass from Ben Curry, and I'm sure I saw Wayne Bennett over the right shoulder of Lauren Fresinu watching this match. He's seen 3 tries. He's seen more tries in 15 minutes than he has in 2 games. He should have just turned up tonight.
Well, there he is, Wayne Bennett, on the left of your screen, right behind Laurent Fresinu. And the England coach, of course, over here on a spying mission while the Brisbane Broncos have a bye in the NRL campaign. And it is Kurt Gidley here now with the chance to add the extras, but he has sliced it the wrong side of the post. Incidentally, it was Mitchell Dodds, the injured Warrington prop forward. There he is next to him. Hardly played any time in the competition this year, coming back from a broken leg.
He got injured, of course, didn't he, when they were playing down in Catalan earlier this season. But that's 3 great passes to get the ball to the wing for Kevin Penny to score. The skill was poor last week for Warrington. It's pretty impressive there for that try. Just about put them ahead.
But it's the basics that left. Oh, look at that.
10-0 down St Helens at home to Hull Kingston Rovers, who will certainly not have given up the chase on the Super 8 place that currently belongs to the Widnes Vikings.
Well, they started well, didn't they, when they played at Hull Care earlier this year with a 16-10 up at half-time, but did fade, so they've got to keep it going for 80 if the Hull Care side want to win at St Helens.
And Wakefield have hit back at home against the Leeds Rhinos. It's all happening. It is all happening in the Super League tonight, and it's happening here where Warrington are leading by 10 points to 8. All the tries, remember, later on after the full-time sirens, skysports.com/rugby league, and if you stay with us here, we'll get as many of those tries on the air for you before we disappear at full-time, because Phil will be taking us through all the action.
Well, Catalan, they've come up with 2 errors. That try there allowed Penny in on that left-hand wing. You can see that Jody Broughton wasn't man-on-man in defence. And, of course, remember when Sandow made the break, it was Catalan that failed to get the first and second markers sorted out.
Much better take that by Fouad Yaha on the far side of the field. Another teenager in this Catalan Dragons side. Plays the ball there to Morgan Escaré.
It's huge, Eddie, isn't it? Yaha.
He is.
Massive. That should have been a penalty.
Escaré had a fantastic season in 2014, 29 tries in 34 appearances. From memory, I think he was a contender for Young Player of the Year that particular occasion. Now then, if you get hold of Facebook Live at half-time, Steve-O will be hosting a trip around our commentary gantry here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and at full-time, well, Barry McDermott will be downstairs and amongst all the players, and he will be chatting away just like Terry O'Connor did last night when we were at the Widnes Vikings against Wigan game. So Facebook live here on Sky Sports 1. Don't forget the website. We're all over this shop in 2016.
Sure are. Looking forward to it. Half-time.
Well, see who you get to speak to. This now is Gigot. Oh, he got the pass wide. Pat Richards has got it back, and this will be 6 to go. It is 6 to go. Catalan Dragons with more opportunities here. Lucas Albert now trying to banish the memory of the drop ball. Grounded though by Chris Hill. And here now is Batieri, takes it forward again. Jack Hughes gets to him first, helped out by Gidley. Darryl Clark was there also. Pelissier had a little glance at the line then, decided not to go for it himself. Here is Glenn Stewart. Glenn Stewart then gets it back to Escaré. Good tackling again by Darryl Clark. Pelissier once more. Todd Carney changes the direction, and they won't get to him. He fires the pass to Bousquet, and he takes on Gidley and Evans, and they are two of the best defenders this year in the Warrington colours, and he's lost the ball. Well, it has been stolen, says Chris Campbell.
Oh, lucky to get away with that. There was hands in. Good defence by Kirk Gidley on that occasion. Well, another set of 6. Surely they'll just tap this.
I'm sure I saw Remy cast it. He wanted 2 points. He's the captain. But his team have decided they want another crack at 6 points.
Okay, further ahead at St Helens. And here now is Escaray. Great tackle again by Rhys Evans. Been magnificent in defence this year, has Rhys Evans.
He's been unbelievable, that is for sure. Not many people have got past him as well. And that is great defence. Good work by Darryl Clark. Got down low, finished off there by Westerman.
Pelissier, back the ball comes to Carney. Looping pass over the top to Jody Broughton. Kevin Penny in his face, but Broughton with the strength to shrug him off. Can't get away from Acton Sims though, or Ben Curry.
Just shows you the difference in that defensive effort. Penny was man and man.
Anthony Maria again gets to the last tackle. This has been a good set defensively from Warrington thus far, and is now. Carney slides into the challenge of Ben Curry.
Yeah, pretty difficult to get through the effort from Kerry. You can see ball and all, no chance of offloading. But they're in a pretty good position. If you're going to turn the ball over on the and go for the power play, you won't do it. And you've got your opposition only about 5 metres from their own line. But that was good. Oh, they've given away a silly penalty. The second push. Just a little bit frustration. You go all through the hard work and you won't let him go.
You know, he's not the biggest. Sorry, Steve, he's not the biggest, Kevin Penny, but he's one of the bravest. I reckon he's giving 5, 6, 10 kgs away every time he carries the ball, but he runs it brave and strong, and he earns his side of penalty.
And on the first tackle, this set, they're over the halfway line, and Ben Westwood is back and in the fray. The 34-year-old former England international. Darryl Clark gets it away to Gidley. He looks to his right and finds Jack Hughes on the move, and he is halted by the tackle low down by Albert. It's Westerman again, and Westerman gives some width and finds Sandow, and Glenn Stewart gets to Sandow before he can get the ball away.
Oh, made a real effort there. Todd Carney went out of the line. He was looking to get back in and make it solid. They've got to be man-to-man marking now, Catalan.
And that's Chris Hill, who will get to his feet. This is Clark. Sandow again, short ball to Curry. Curry dabs the ball ahead of him. And Escaray sweeps up behind for the Catalan Dragons, but a good chase on that from Jack Hughes.
Good quick play of the ball as well, but he just stumbled there. What about that Morgan Escaray, the full-back? He's not frightened to sort of go across the field, even under his own sticks.
One of the problems that Catalan have had a bit this season, Eddie, is in the second and the fourth quarter of games. They really haven't been as good as they have in the opening 20 minutes of both halves, really. They've tapered off. In fact, when they actually played at home against Warrington, they faded badly in the last 20 minutes. And it's interesting here whether they continue to play as well. They've been good for 20 minutes, but in this second 20, can they play at the same level? Here's some fatigue setting in, concede another penalty. They look quite as in control as they have at the start of the game.
Let me Cassidy say this was on the shoulder. It was a little high. It ended up around the neck on Stephen Ratchford, who must be, Stephen Ratchford, one of a number of players in this Warrington side tonight out to impress Wayne Bennett. He's only played once as Stephen Ratchford for England in 2012. Are you watching, Mr. Bennett? I'm sure you are.
Yeah, look, he's a great player. You can play him, as I say, put him in the centre, stand off, full back. I think his best position is the full back. He knows nothing better than to link in.
He was on the 2014 tour down under, but he didn't get a game. So only the one cap, and Sandow puts the ball down, and Bacheri couldn't take it cleanly, so there's a double knock on. The referee will put the scrum down.
Isn't it amazing? Professional players taking their eye off the football, looking to see what defence is coming at them.
Well, you were harping on about this last night as well.
It's amazing. Look, it's just a basic thing.
Well, I talked to Lee Breers before the game. He said that Warrington, because of the amount of errors that they'd made last week, they just went back to basics, started to do a little bit of hand-eye, a lot of skill based. He said at this time of the year, you're not spending too much time on skill. You're getting ready for games, you're recovering from the last one. As we see another mistake, Kevin Penny gets the ball for Warrington. Is that a scrum down? Warrington ball.
Bring it back for the original knock-on by Jody Broughton.
Yeah, he's got it right.
Oh, actually, I tell you what, that was punched out by Ryan Atkins.
Atkins certainly got a hand to it. Is it 1-on-1?
Well, it's 1-on-1. It's knocked out and it's knocked on there by Ryan Atkins.
It should be Catalan head and feet.
Well, do the rules allow for the referee to be corrected, or if he's not asked for any instruction, do we go with the rule that he's decided?
We go with the rule that he has, unless he asks for assistance from the video referee.
Well, I think he saw it because he's just explained what went on to the players of both sides. But in his view, it wasn't a knock-on. So this now is Ratchford, gets it away to Evans. Nice to go inside Pat Richards. Quick play the ball though, and here is Ben Westwood. Big bad Benny Westwood. Back in the side for Warrington, 10 metres out.
He'll bring a lot more to the attack, that is for sure.
Gidley will, and so too will Sandow. Applied the brakes, here is Ratchford. This is Atkins, Penny. Now then, the touch judge has the flag up. He says he was in touch. So no try. And Jody Broughton's breathing a sigh of relief. Actually, it's good defence from him, to be fair.
Yeah,
good decision too from the touch judge.
It's on the whitewash. Both legs was in the air. If it had got it just on the inside, that would have been a try. But as you see, it landed on the whitewash.
Good eyes from Joe Cobb. Normally a man who plays in the middle, as well as the referee.
That have let up as well. And this is something I don't like. I know it's part and parcel of the game and the rules stated. But, holding the ball in the second row so that it catches the other side. I don't like that rule at all. Just put we don't even have precious scrum, so just put the ball in and get on with it.
Huddersfield 10-6 ahead at Salford as Bacheri takes the Catalan Dragons over the halfway line. It'll be very interesting at the other end of the table tonight, depending on all those results. This is Bousquet.
Well, it's this part of the season, Eddie, when you've got to make sure that you've got a good run and come up with a few victories. Nice pass.
Great ball.
Should have had some support there. Bacheri was twitching in the tackle.
Ben Curry got to him. Here is Carney. Carney spins away from a couple. And Carney then gets it away to Lucas Albert, who dabs the ball into the corner looking for the winger out there. I think he's found him. Fuad Yaha, I think, has scored this.
Great kick from the youngster.
What have the decision been given on the field?
They got no try, sorry.
Oh, they've got no try, and they're looking at obstruction and the grounding.
Well, it was a beautiful kick through from the young 17-year-old.
I'd ask the question, Stuart, why hasn't he stopped the game then if he thought there was an obstruction?
Well, I think he's going back to it for the simple reason he scored a try, so the tries come from it. There's no crossing, he's gone through, so we're absolutely fine there. The runner's gone through the line, the player hasn't gone behind the ball.
So why has he disallowed the try then?
He's disallowed it on grounding, I think.
Oh, I thought it was obstruction, he said.
No.
I think that's Navarrete that goes through. You're right, Steve. It's a quality kick.
It's on the ground.
Well,
has he got the upper torso down?
He sells it, Fuad Yaha. He jumps up like he scored it. And normally they're not liars, rugby league players. Here we go.
You're right, Barry. I take it back. I take the laugh back.
TRY without a doubt.
Well, it's going to be overturned by the video referee, Robert Hicks, and indeed it is. 3 try-scoring appearances in a row for Fuad Yaha. And Steve-O's right. He is a big boy for a winger. He's 19 years of age. Richards shifted to the centres to accommodate this young man.
Good work by Carney. Gets him on the wrong foot. And then what vision for a young 17-year-old. He knew exactly what was happening there. And for him to come back, great work by Carney. But look at the vision on this kid. Sensational. Thank you very much indeed.
That's a brilliant try for everybody involved in rugby league in France, because it's been scored and created by 2 young Frenchmen who've learnt to play the game over there and are showing, I think, a brilliant 10 years ahead of them. Fuad Yaha scored an absolutely amazing try at Leeds just a couple of weeks ago. I think he carried 3 or 4 defenders over in the corner. And what he's shown as well is that instinct of a finisher, whether it be in football or rugby. They're given half a chance and they score.
Well, Pat Richards, who has kicked one. Oh, that's more like it from him. That is more like it from Pat Richards. He has kicked successfully 3 times, because he got the penalty goal, didn't he?
And the other aspect, and the impressive aspect of that try, is it's completely ad-lib. There's nothing prescriptive. What they've done is they've seen what's available to them, and they took that chance.
Well, Pat Richards now on the verge of becoming the 7th top goal kicker in Super League history. Needs just one more. He's now level with Lee Briers. Half an hour of the match has gone, and the Catalan Dragons are ahead by 4 points. Warrington 10, the Catalan Dragons 14. One thing we can say about 2016, the Dragons, no flash in the pan this year. When you think Jody Broughton, Pat Richards, also Glenn Stewart, and there's one more in the side as well. Todd Carney, thank you, Phil. I missed him out. The only non-Frenchman in this 17 tonight. What a difference. Well, what a difference from 10 years ago.
There must be a lot of men involved in coaching at clubs like Avignon, Limoux and all over France who, if they're tuning in to watch this, must feel pleased and satisfied that at last so many of the young French players are being given a chance and proving they can play at the highest level in Super League.
This has got to be a good kick now. Turn them around. And it is. Right into the corner.
Well picked up though by Ratchford on the half volley, but look at the chase.
Fantastic kick and chase. They've certainly got it sorted out, that is for sure. And field position has been well and truly in the French outfit's advantage.
Darrell Clark, crowds on the back of the referee, Chris Campbell. They believe that they're straying forward far too early at the play. The ball is getting them back a good 10 metres. This is Chris Hill.
Well, he might be new to the top league, Chris Campbell, but don't worry, he'll be ignoring all the shouts from the fans underneath us.
Jack Hughes. He isn't, you know. Or maybe it was a shout from the touchline from one of his touch judges.
There's certainly a few out on that left-hand side, but I've seen worse.
Your bus couldn't reverse quick enough, Barry.
Le Bus.
You've decided that's the way you say bus in French, is it?
Le Bus.
Not autobus? No.
Wexwood's lost it.
He hasn't. He's had it stolen.
Whoa, Seth, leave it, Elwa. I got it, pal, yeah. Let's just cut it out, lads.
There we go, Glenn Stewart again, right round, knocks his knees together, the Minister of Defence.
I'm not so sure that that was pulled out. Didn't appear to have harm in. Either way, Warrington will not be arguing about that.
Darrell Clark now. Here is Joe Westerman. Gives the ball short to Westwood, and Glenn Stewart again with the tackle. Maybe had a second snap at him as well. Here is Sandow, gets the ball away to Gidley. Gidley then taking them on himself. Albert sticking to the task. Rhys Evans off the ground and picked up on the half volley by Sandow. Here is Westerman. Westerman looking to kick into the in-goal area. Invitation to Kevin Penny, but it was a little bit too long. And Broughton wants to get on with it quickly.
Yeah, the idea was good, but I'm afraid it was just a little bit too strong from the loose forward Westerman.
Solid run from Broughton.
Oh, that's been pulled out. I think there was a second player just attached himself before Clark gets to it.
Pound for pound, I don't think there's a harder tackler, a stronger, more determined one than Darrell Clark. Last week, here against Hull, men almost appear to be twice his size, and he attempts to cut them in two.
You're right, Phil.
Very brave.
And it's going to be a wonder when Tony Smith's going to throw out Brad Dwyer. Will he put him on for the last 5 or 6 minutes? We'll have to wait and see. Good work there by Stewart.
Ben away!
What an engine this boy's got.
Get up, one.
Yes, Glenn Stewart. He has been a great signing in his first season for the Catalan Dragons. He's ever present this year.
Move! Hold! Go!
Bousquet gets the ball away again to Albert. Lovely floated pass to the left-hand side to Fouad Yaha. 3 though there to deal with the threat.
To me and hold! Go!
And Richards from dummy half. Here is Albert again. Remy Casti will take the ball forward. That was high. That was high.
Yeah.
I would love to know the statistics on that player getting penalties against him. He runs with his chin up all the time. He has the ball as a buffer. He has his left arm out to hopefully collect one of the low defenders and low arms, but He must get 4 or 5 penalties every week with people rocking and jolting his head back.
You know, Baz, I can see you slavering over the fact you would have loved to have played against a man who has his chin high.
I might have done, but I wouldn't have lasted very long, would I? I've soon been off. He's a tremendous player, Remy Casti, and again, a bit like Jason Bitteri, he'll take that for his team.
Well, it's a massive kick in the context of the game that gives the Dragons a 6-point lead if he kicks it, but for Pat Richards, he has 118 goals before tonight, so he's 8-2-1. He's level with Lee Breers in 7th, or right now 7th place. This will give him 7th place on his own, and he'll only be 4 away from Sean Long, who is just ahead of him if he kicks this, which he does. And so 7th on the list of all-time goal kickers, Pat Richards, and Sean Long is in his sights now. We're less than 5 minutes away from the half-time break, and the Catalan Dragons are ahead by 6 points. 10 to Warrington, 16 to the Dragons.
And it just shows you how important it was when Richards went very early in the piece to make the first score at 2-0.
Steve-O's on the gantry on Facebook Live in a few minutes' time. I hope he's got a song ready. He might be singing, as he'll certainly be talking to himself.
I doubt it.
And Warrington have got the ball back. Kevin Penny was eager to seize on the mistake. Here's big Jordan Cox, who's come up to the bench.
How many times do we see that? You've scored points, put him on the board, from the kick-off, you come up with the error.
And this is a chance for Warrington to hit back here right before half-time. This is Jack Hughes.
And there's plenty of time, they don't have to panic. Dwyer's out there, good move by Smith.
There he is, Dwyer. He gives the ball to Gidley, he gets it back to Sandow. There's a try on here if he gets it wide. Oh, that's dangerous. That is dangerous. Hugo puts the hand up immediately.
Spins him round, lifts the legs. Certainly higher than the horizontal. That could have been a very nasty incident.
So easily could have been.
It's probably going to be 10 minutes on the sim bin, isn't it?
The touch judge Joe Cobb is on, talking to Chris Campbell.
The problem is, Phil, we saw a high shot. We saw a high shot from Ashton Sims. It didn't get a sin bin.
This one's going to get a sin bin, I can tell you that. Dangerous tackle for Tony Hugo. Todd Carney pleads the case as the solicitor for the defence, but he's in the sin bin. It was a nasty looking tackle, but you have to ask the question after the high shot by Ashton Sims why he's the first.
Well, the referee clearly didn't think it was as serious or as dangerous, and he's done that now. The Dragons have got very 3 difficult minutes here, haven't they, to hold out.
They have indeed. This is Westwood. This is a test of their mettle, all right. Westwood with the white lights on in reverse. He gets up and plays the ball to Dwyer. Here is Gidley. Gidley now to Ratchford. It went behind everybody. Oh, and it's hand forward. Oh, and it
bounced out just at the right moment. Boy, if that had stayed in the field of play.
It's head and feet to Warrington as it happens.
Now this could have turned out really good for the Catalan side.
Well, that was poor, wasn't it, from Ratchford to Hughes, and he wasn't interested in the ball. Tony Smith was critical of Warrington's attack last week. He'd be disappointed with that passage of play there. We've had, I think, 4 attackers, only 2 or 3 defenders, but none of them seemed interested in converting it into a chance.
Fuad Yaha with the hack downfield. Had it stayed in the field of play, not bounced over the whitewash, would have been very interesting because Lucas Albert was after it. As it is, this is Atkins. Atkins is grounded by 3. Glenn Stewart wouldn't be put off. And Thomas Bosk is trying to get out from underneath Atkins. This is Chris Hill.
It's desperate defence now. And just because they're 1 man down doesn't mean to say that Warrington will try to opt to keep it alive. Was that up back to 6?
It is. Ben Curry has it 0, says the referee. So 6 more tackles here. And here goes Atkins again, having a go at the line, trying to get between 3 of them. He's got them within a foot or so of the whitewash. This is Dwyer, short ball, Jordan.
Oh, he couldn't get it down.
Great defence.
That's why you can't have man-on-man, mate, because you need 3 or 4 men to stop a big man in the middle. There's inevitably space out wide.
That was wonderful from Navarrete. Oh! What's happened there? Rhys Evans has knocked on.
Knock on, yeah. He's claiming that it went backwards. Well, that was wonderful pressure. Catalan have got away with it. Tried to double pump. He was asking for someone to come through, but Kirk Gidley was slow on the intake. Ratchford tried to pick it up one-handed. Boy, a golden opportunity.
And that's a big tick in the box for the Dragons, isn't it, with the 12 men?
Unbelievable. We've said many times that, you know, when things seem to go against them, they start arguing with the referee, lack the concentration, but that was outstanding.
Warrington, second row loose.
Salford 12, Huddersfield 16, latest there at the AJ Bell Stadium.
Play on. One away, Ben.
Pat Richards for the Catalan Dragons takes the tackle from Ben Westwood. Here goes Jody Broughton now.
Well, no silly passes, just took it up, jumper, and escaped to the half-time break with a 6-point lead.
Yes, we're inside the final minute of the first half.
Hold it, Chris. Hold it for 3. Hold.
Todd Carney is anxious to get on with it. Left the ball away to Remy Casti, taking on Jack Hughes and Chris Hill.
Another drive up.
Thomas Bosch again.
Oh, they've gone early.
Well, they've been doing that all night, and that's straight into the arms of Ratchford. This is a chance again for Warrington.
I can't believe that. They should have gone to the last Eddie and kicked it into touch.
I'll say it again. I was trying to say it for 3 times. Floated past to Penny.
Mate, you do remember that Warrington love to put pressure on kickers, and they scored against Hull last week by doing exactly that. That's the worry. If you stay to the last tackle, they're going to harass your kicker, and you could concede.
I'd rather go for safety first.
Sandow running laterally, now try and straighten it up, although he went down, he's lost his footing. They look like they're going to escape here, the Dragons, because this will be the last play.
They've got to kick it. Kick it.
Gidley's looking to do that. He fires it wide instead to Curry. The half-time siren has sounded. Curry can't get the ball away. Yes, he can to Atkins. Ball is flung back inside and is dobbed over the dead ball line by Remy Casti. Catalan Dragons breathing deeply and just surviving on the stroke of half-time. Remember, a man in the sin bin, Tony Gigot. It was a forward pass anyway by a mile. But some good defence at the end of the first half from the Catalan Dragons after some inventive attacking play as well. Richards' penalty goal gave them a 2-point lead. Atkins' try improved by Gidley, 6-2 Warrington. Bousquet and Richards' goal, 8-6. Penny with the try, not converted, 10-8. Then Yaha's try and Richards' 2 goal. Here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, players are out and the referee Chris Campbell is ready, and so are we. So let's get the second half in motion with the Catalan Dragons leading by 16 points to 10, and it's going to be Pat Richards who will kick the second half off. You know, last year these two in the Super 8s, Warrington and Catalan, were 2 of the all-surrounds, but it looks like they will be doing a lot more than simply making up the numbers in 2016. And the Catalan Dragons, well, they will be delighted with their first half performance here. A bit like Wigan last night, Steve-O. A lot of first-team players missing, but playing very well. Yeah,
and it's down to the defence, and we saw last night that Wigan defence was quite superb, and they want certainly a repeat of that. There were certain times, and of course Warrington, their coach Tony Smith, will be wanting to get into a better field position. The French outfit certainly controlled that in the first 40.
It is Matty Russell who will play that ball, and the ball goes via Sandow to Ben Curry, and there was a little bit of a misunderstanding with Ryan Atkins. Free play. That's the 0 tackle then.
Well, perhaps they're aware they've got 7 minutes or so with a 1-man advantage, and they wanted to capitalise on that. Ben Curry, who's probably looked the most dangerous player for the Warrington side, knew that they had some space, but the pass went to ground, and it's not a great start for Warrington.
This is Casti, goes right up the middle, taking on Westwood, taking on Dwyer, takes the tackle. Bosch, and here now is Carney. He just drops the pass off. Well, it's a solid enough run as well, but good defence from Warrington to keep Battieri out. Here is Navarre.
It's important now that Catalan just eat up the clock. They know they've still only got 12 players out there.
They're a little more ambitious than that, Steve-O. And that ball went backwards off Kevin Penny, who was under all sorts of pressure. But they survive right on their own goal line.
Yeah, Ryan Atkins did well to keep in the field of play there.
This is good work from Ben Curry. He's an Irish international. I think I'm right in saying if he wishes to switch allegiances to England with the watching Wayne Bennett in the stand, he can do.
Yeah, of course he can.
Well, let's be right, he's one of the best players in the competition, and certainly one of the best back rows in the competition. He wants to play at the elite level, and he sees playing for England in the Four Nations as part of that.
Penalty here, though, to the Warrington Wolves. The Catalan Dragons caught offside.
Yeah, quite a few of them never made any attempt to get back to Mr. Campbell.
And what a booming kick from the penalty. Look where Warrington begin this set of 6. And that was Rhys Evans, and there's a little bit of urgency about Warrington here at the start of the second half. This is Chris Hill now. And it's another big test of the Catalan Dragons defence coming up. That's Brad Dwyer, a good dummy from him. A great dummy from Dwyer, and a great try from Dwyer. A wonderful individual try from the Warrington substitute.
Well, that's
really tremendous.
That's a reason why Tony Smith throws him out there after good work by Daniel Clark. What a boost that this guy can bring to the side. Happiness for the fans, and why not? They held back to the Catalan defence. He was roaming all over the place, through a dummy, through another one, and then squeezed through. Wonderful effort. But the defence was all over the shop. You can see they were just hanging back. Thomas Boss, he didn't know whether to go in first or hang back. It was too late.
Well, if your attacking game isn't particularly firing, as it hasn't really for Warrington tonight, the best way of scoring a try is without throwing a pass. If your acting halfback can pick it up and look as dangerous as Brad Dwyer did then, well, your team have got a chance, and they have here now, as this is going to be 16-all.
It is a good try, but my word, what was the defensive line of Catalan Dragons doing? They were late retreaters.
Well, they were fractured, Barry, because they're playing with 12 men at the moment.
Absolutely. You'd think that communication is key in that respect. If you're a player down, you need to be talking and letting everybody know what you're doing. It certainly didn't look that way on that occasion.
Well, here is Kurt Gidley to try and add the extras, level the scores, which he does. Kurt Gidley with the goal, and Brad Dwyer with an excellent individual try.
Yeah, to allow a player like this, who's very, very crafty, to go in and out, and to just hesitate and hang back. You know, come out as a straight line, give him no option. Once you go dogleg, it leaves a wider gap, and he picked it out very well indeed.
We saw a shot of Morgan Escare in the defensive line. He pushes forward. His role then, as soon as that ball carrier starts to get on his back, his role is then to try and find some space and plug some gaps.
Well, I'm sure that was not in the script for Lauren Freyshnew at half-time. Bill Arthur was at the doors.
Well, that's more like it from the Warrington Wolves' point of view. Coach Tony Smith demanding a bigger effort from his side in the second half. Much more vigorosity, and we've seen plenty of that in the opening few minutes of this second half. I have to tell you, one member of the Warrington backroom staff assessment of that first half was a very loud raspberry. That wasn't far off the mark, and they've already come up with the goods in the second half, and really are showing a lot more intent. Although they've squandered possession, and Lauren Freyshnew very satisfied with the effort of his side in that first 40 minutes, the young players especially, and they get the penalty.
Yes, they do, and I wonder with the scores level whether they will run the risk here of tapping, or they'll go for the 2 points.
Well, with 12 men on the field then, it probably makes sense, doesn't it, to kick. By the time this match restarts after this attempted conversion, I think they'll almost have Tony Guigeot back on the field.
Yeah, it's good thinking, and the experience certainly of this fella. Richards knows that the official will stop the clock, that is for sure. But
well, he'll have a minute though, won't he, Stuart, to line up this penalty attempt?
He will. Time will be off after 1 minute, so I think Tony Guigeot will probably have about 30 seconds to wait before he comes back on.
So Salford and Huddersfield 18-12 to the Giants. A very, very emotional night, I'm sure, involving those two clubs. Of course, with the awful news about Ronan Costello this week. And of course, new beginning for Huddersfield, because they're under the control tonight of Andy Kelly, the head of youth. And Richards, he's sure with the boot tonight, all right. He might have the most misses alongside his name in Super League this year, but he's doing okay with the boot tonight. Pat Richards, the ever dependable Pat Richards.
Yeah, he's back into the swing of things.
There's Gigot waiting to come back.
and he'll race on just after a few seconds. But what an error from Matty Russell. Why on earth, after taking the ball there, they've evened up the score, and look at that, Leeds 22, Wakefield 6. They're back in business. They can still catch Widnes.
Yes, they can. It'll take a mighty effort with 4 to go until the big split into Super and Middle Eights after tonight. But they are in their sights, and maybe 2 wins in a row coming for the Rhinos tonight.
Well, Johnny Smith has got to get the message out and say, listen, we just squared up the scoreboard, and then one of our players, Matty Russell, tries to offload it in an impossible situation when it was all it needed was another drive and then get the kick deep into the corner.
Thomas Bosk waits the dummy half and he gets the ball away, but there is no way through on that occasion for Margalet. Last tackle here, and Todd Carney thumps the ball downfield. Picked up on the bounce by Stefan Ratchford. Great chase though by the Catalan Dragons, led by the kicker.
Always he's pulled the ball away, and I think it's after he's called held. His momentum had stopped. And then you can see there that Carney.
A lot of that in the game tonight, isn't there? A lot of ball stealing in impossible situations and drawing the penalty from the referee.
Now the current mode is to tackle around the ball and to try and clamp the ball, and there's a bit of pressure on there. It tends to come out a bit. The referee's got no option but to go with the ball carrier.
St Helens hitting back, leading now against Hull Kingston Rovers. Chris Sandow coming forward meanwhile here for the Warrington Wolves. Brad Dwyer is waiting at dummy half, and he gives the ball then to Chris Hill, and the Catalan Dragons halt him in his tracks. The crowd on the back of the referee again. They're believing that the Dragons defensive line is moving forward far too quickly. Jordan Cox takes this ball forward. 18 all at the AJ Bell Stadium. Salford Huddersfield here 16-18 in favour of the Dragons. Chris Sandow then delayed the pass, fatally really, because Glenn Stewart came in and clamped the ball to him, and down he goes in another 3-man attack. Now then, Sandow looking, plays the ball. Gidley taking them on up the middle. Offside.
Sandow was wanting for someone. He was trying to throw the dummy and get someone coming on the outside. He got smashed by Glenn Stewart. Now will they take the 2, or will they just say we'll tap? They're going to tap. They're after the 6.
They are, with Chris Hill on the first drive. 2 points in arrears. This is Dwyer. He finds Gidley, drops the ball off to Jack Hughes. Hughes was looking for a try on his return to action. Dwyer again, stuttered to go left, came back right, then went backwards, spins away. What a player. What a great pass too to Hill.
Yeah, he'll test any opposition, that is for sure, and he's still on the move.
He's nuggety, he gets it to Kirk Gidley. Gidley is all wrapped up. Good defence by young Albert. Dwyer again waits, booms the pass then into centre field, and Sandow with a nice little kick to the in-goal area. Oh, good stuff. Morgan Escaray picks it up. Great chase from Warrington. Goal line dropout on the way.
Yeah, it was a problem in the first half that Warrington got good field position, but this is a real pressure kick, isn't it, from Sandow? And the chase is as good as the kick, and Morgan Escaray makes sure that he goes dead in goal.
Well, it's perfect management from Sandow. We were calling last night for short kicks in and around the 10-metre zone, as we see. It's a difficult night for Catalan. They need to get that away win. They need to prove a lot to themselves that they can come to a place like Warrington and get those 2 points.
Slight anxious look on the face of Michael Monaghan, former Warrington hooker. He'll be with John Wells at the touchscreen after this match.
He really lifts Warrington when he gets on the pitch. Jordan Cox, a big man, big body with a big character and a big heart.
That's a good hit on Ben Westwood. Michael Monaghan and John Wells at the touchscreen at the end of tonight's match. Will it be a happy return for Michael Monaghan? We shall see. This is Gidley. Gidley to Hughes, good hands, even better hands. Russell, great try! Great try from Matty Russell.
I think he's got it down.
I do as well, but the referee not sure.
What have you got?
Well, Russell will be relieved if this is given. Remember, it was the error from Russell that allowed the Catalans to get back into the game.
Two things to look at, Stuart: possible obstruction and the grounding, and I think the grounding's a-OK.
Yeah, certainly there was some movement through. I'm not so sure there is an obstruction in this. It's called to check it from the side. I think Evans is in front of the player, but I don't think there's any danger of an obstruction there. He's not affecting any player. Catches it on the outside. I think Evans just goes through. There's no problem there. There's no obstruction. I think we can confidently clear that. And go to the grounding. His hands on top of the ball. Oh, where's his hand on now?
I think he might have missed it.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens on the side-eye view.
Well, he's certainly got to have some part of his hand has got to be in contact with the ball.
Oh, no, it's a knock-on,
isn't it? Yeah, he's lost the ball.
Wow, it looked as though it was going to be a sensational try from Russell, but it's quite clear there that he's lost control.
Well, that comes down to the grip. He holds the ball consistently like that, like he's holding a teddy bear. And if he gets his thumb round that ball, he can pull it away from his body, he can extend his arm and get the ball down, and unfortunately his skills let him down there.
Good work, wasn't it, by the
still
fullback?
looking at it.
This is the one.
Oh, he loses control, isn't he? There's a hand, it's completely on the deck.
Yeah, the hand's in front of the ball there, isn't it? He's got to have some part of his hand on the ball when the ball hits the ground, but
I don't think he has.
There was a shot earlier that we haven't seen again that looked like the ball would definitely come away.
It has come away from it. If they give this, it'll be an injustice.
Well, Robert Hicks is the man with the lights. Which button will he press, red or green? It's a red, it's no try.
No try.
Matty Russell looks bemused, but when he has a look at it again, he will realise that the ball came out of his hand and it's a knock-on.
Yeah, just lost control at the vital moment. But good work from the fullback, Morgan Escaray. It applied the pressure. Boy, what a let-off.
It's the first time, though, that Warrington have passed the ball with that precision, created overlap. The timing was good. Okay, didn't score it, but I think that will please them here. They've got half an hour to try and do that again.
St Helens rescuing the night. 24-12 against Hulkingston Rovers. Big night for them, that. Big night for Rovers also, if they really do have designs on the Super 8s. This, meanwhile, is the bus, Bousquet.
Yeah, and good defence as well by Warrington. Oh, that's a knock-on. Bailey at the impact. Bousquet looks at the official and they celebrate.
Well, this is a feature of the modern game. Bousquet gets stopped and then two other players come in. They take him to ground, and under considerable stress, he can't keep hold of that ball.
Ryan Bailey for Ryan Bailey.
He was the player that came in, made it uncomfortable. And when you're in that position and your ribs are exposed and you've got a player down near your knees, you've got somebody clamping the ball up, you're bracing yourself for impact. Sometimes players can, and obviously do, lose focus of the ball.
Ratchford then from the base of the scrum. Tackled by Glenn Stewart. Here is Ryan Atkins. Atkins on an angled run. Ball to ground. Dwyer to Hill. And here is Bailey again going up the middle. Looks like Leeds are going to get their two in a row. This, meanwhile, is Sandow. Jinking run from Sandow. Very important tackle low down by Thomas Boss.
Had to be as well. The experience of Boss went very low on the big fella.
Gidley nearly lost that, but he held on in the end.
He wanted an inside pass as well, did Gidley.
It's the last tackle coming up here for Warrington. Dwyer's looking options right and left, looping past to Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes gets tackled and upended by four Catalan Dragons defenders. That is the turnover.
Now, did Jack Hughes just lose count there?
Whether he did or he didn't, he knows that his team are playing against a very, very determined defensive outfit. From the start of the second half, Warrington had good opportunity here, attacking, great field position, lots of time near their opponent's try line, but can't find a successful way through it.
Yeah, I feel sure that Tony Smith, the Warrington coach, would have wanted to put a little dink into the in-goal area there just to try to get the second set of 6.
Interestingly, the Warrington Wolves trailing by 2 points, but they have scored 3 tries to 2 on the night. So it is the boot of Pat Richards, who has been a little bit erratic this year, but is not tonight. It separates the two sides. Ooh, now then, there's a 40-20 attempt here from Escaré. Ooh, just short.
Just short.
Just short. 2 or 3 metres at the most, short.
Yeah, as I say, he's not frightened to come up with something different, this fella. He's a very, very capable fullback. Off form slightly this year, but an opportunity in this game to impress his coach.
One of a number of players, Morgan Escaré, who helped the Saint-Etienne team in April win the French Cup final this year. There are a few of them in the Catalan Dragons side tonight that did that.
Hands off. Kurt, wait there, Kurt, wait there. Chris, come on, Chris.
And when you think about the
Chris, get back.
The transition of players from
Saint-Etienne
and Saint-Estève rather, and Avignon, Limoux into the Super League. It's good news for French rugby league.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And I tell you what, with the players they're missing, I think this has got to rank Barry almost as one of Catalan's best performances of the season.
And I think you'll see when Laurent Fresinier, he gets chance and opportunity to speak, he'll talk with pride in a similar fashion that Sean Wayne did if they get the victory.
Well, they're a wee while away from that, although they do lead as we approach the 55th minute. This is Ratchford, gets the ball to Gidley. Gidley then finds Rhys Evans.
Oh, that was a high shot, but not seen by the officials. Oh, Evans really caught one then.
Up it goes, high off the boot of Kurt Gidley. Now then, was Ben Curry ahead of the ball here? Oof. Sandow came charging in, and
they didn't like it. They didn't like it at all. But there was nothing wrong with it. No one had forced the tackle.
Well, he isn't tackled because he's on the floor, Jody Broughton.
Hands off. Get away.
It's rough and reckless.
Take it away.
It was a good take by the winger.
Excellent take by Broughton. This is what they got upset with.
Well, it was high into the face.
The referee could penalise Morgan Escaré here because Escaré pushes Sandow out the way. Does he make contact with the head, Barry?
Right, okay.
It's higher than the shoulders.
Yeah.
Stuart?
Well, that's the initial penalty, isn't it? The contact with the head on the floor. Escaré shouldn't come in. I would expect a penalty to Catalan and a word with Morgan Escaré, I think.
Oh, first tackle. Yeah, I have as well, yeah. I've got that. Yeah,
just a word with Escaré.
Yeah, all right. Let's have this captain's a fella. Yeah, got it, mate. I'm all right. I've got it. No, I've got it, mate.
Referee says he's got the situation under control. And he wants the two skippers.
Oh, listen, Remy, we're going to be starting the game with a play the ball, first tackle. What I don't need is both teams coming running in. All right, leave it to me, let me sort it. You tell your team to calm down. Yeah, no, just tell them to calm down, let me deal with it. All right, Chris, you tell your team, you tell yours. That's the first and the last now.
So calm down, says the referee. It's just not going to be a penalty, it's going to be play the ball.
First tackle, play the ball there. Wait for me, Jody, wait for me.
Well, Jody Broughton is A-OK, that's the most important thing.
That's one, let's go, Jody, one. Keep it low, Warrington.
And you've got to be brave to take it up when they've all got the adrenaline pumping through the body.
And here is Gigot, who's already had 10 minutes in the bin tonight.
It's a worry though for Catalan. He's starting to go sideways rather than forwards. His team can't get out to their own 20-metre zone, can they? Look, Warrington's defensive effort to sprint up and prevent any ground gain is impressive.
That's a great offload though by Maria.
He's impressed me as the prop forward, Maria.
Get away, Ben.
Yaha plays the ball, well, almost, finds Bosk. He then finds Carney, who in turn finds Stewart. That was a bit of a high shot on Stewart. He caught one for his corner.
He certainly did.
Was it the shot of Ben Westwood? He chopped him in half. Barely misses him completely. It's the work from Benny Westwood, I think, that just catches in the guts of the Minister of Defence.
I don't think he missed him completely. He didn't get him fair and square, and I think there is contact.
It looked like contact with the top of the head, didn't it?
Yep, just slightly.
Fifth tackle there, fellas.
It was enough to stun the
fifth tackle.
brave second rower, Glenn Stewart.
We may.
Catalan can't believe that he's been called the fifth tackle in this set of 6. The Dragons believe they should have had 2 penalties.
Well, there'll certainly be two incidents of contact with the head.
Leave it to me, mate.
They've been left to play the ball.
Hold it, Ashton. Hold it.
Well, surely Carney will take control of this and kick into the corner.
Wait for the doctor.
You want the doctor to leave the field.
Let's go.
And it's Thomas Bosk from dummy half who gets the kick away. That's a good kick too.
That's brilliant.
Penny has to run it away from his own in-goal area, and here's the chasers.
Well, that's the advantage of kicking from 9. Everybody's onside.
Hold it.
Obviously, everybody knew it was coming, and it's a very good chase on the back of it.
Well, they were racing out to try and cut the space down for Carney, and they left Thomas Bosk on his own. Ashton Sims, a little juggle, hangs on.
3. Release him. 3.
Well, Johnny Smith obviously has thrown Sims out there to add a little bit of momentum.
4.
Also with Darryl Clark.
4. Hold it. 4. Hold it. Go.
Sandow, he's doing the same again from dummy half. It's a good kick. This is a 40-20 attempt. It just doesn't get the bounce he wanted. Escaray runs it back and then gives it to Yaha.
That's one.
And he makes it to the 20-metre line before he is pulled down. Offside now, Warrington.
I was just about to say, Warrington have to be very, very smart and not get in front of the official. And you can see that Sims definitely set off very early indeed.
Well, it looks like they're trying to up the antidote both with and without the ball. They'll remember what they played Catalan in the south of France, where they finished stronger than the Dragons and went on to come from behind and win. They want to do that again, but this is a test to see whether Catalan are fitter, stronger, and maybe more resilient here now at this point in the season.
What a solid challenge it was on Bacheri. This the first of 3 matches that could make or break the Dragons season tonight. They take on Hull in the Cup next weekend, followed by a home game against Wigan to celebrate 10 years of the club in the south of France. 3 massive games. We're 57 minutes or so through the first one of them. Nice work again from Escaray, ducking under the challenges but can't get away from Chris Sandow.
He's had a tremendous game, hasn't he, the full-back, not only in attack but in defence.
Here's Remy Casti.
That's a gamble.
It is a gamble. Russell got to it, but Gigot got to it first. And up it goes now off the boot of Albert. It's sliced to the right-hand side. Jody Broughton hacks it forward into the arms of Kevin Penny. And a big hit by Glenn Stewart.
Wasn't ever Penny would have felt that as well. Well, this crowd, they're baying for the official to say they're not getting back 10. I tell you what, Campbell's getting in a very good 10. Nice play from Ratchford. Thought he could catch the first and second marker out.
Ashton Sims charges forward.
This is a good effort from Warrington to get into such a good position.
Jack Hughes, nice pass down from Evans to Russell.
Did well in keeping the play. Looks as though they're going for the whitewash, did Russell.
Last tackle, Gidley, crossfield kick. Well, they're lined up out here. Sandow just tried to fly hacky forward, and it is picked up by Gigot. And all the Warrington Wolves in pursuit, led by Ratchford.
Good play by Ratchford, the full-back. You can see that the Gigot did not have the pace.
Well, Broughton is on his own, really, with Albert behind him. They've now finally caught up with this attack. Glenn Stewart coming up to the hour mark, entering the last quarter with the Catalan Dragons just 2 points ahead. And Escaray fires the pass to Richards. He does likewise and finds Yaha. Yaha cuts in field, goes round Jack Hughes. Good job that Westwood was there in Hughes' second attempt. Pelissier gives it then to Maria. Maria can't get it away in the tackle. Tried to, goes down. Pelissier, Carney dabs it forward, and the referee says not played at. Well, I can't see how that was not played at. He was advancing towards the ball.
Well, it certainly looked like it is in his arm, which would have been a charge down. Yeah, he comes at the ball.
Yeah, it turns his body. Jack Hughes really has got away with this.
Well, those are the 50-50 calls you've got to be able to ride, haven't you? Warrington crowd here becoming a little restless, trying their best to inspire, lift the team. You don't want to see them here defeated. There's the ball going off the shoulder of Jack Hughes. Ryan Bailey's been sort of given the last half an hour of this game, came on 10 minutes ago.
But the last 3 attempts at Warrington have had possession. It's been a good kick into the corner. Ratchford has done exactly that. But this is the guy that I think that can just clinch it in this game. He's had an outstanding match as Escaray.
Good tackle from Jack Hughes. Rest out. Morgan Escaray's had a lot of work to do. They kicked on the 3rd tackle then. And when teams are kicking on the third tackle, they're back in the defence and they're trying to force errors from their opposition.
Last win here for the Catalan Dragons a long time ago. It was April 2011. It was only a 2-point victory on that occasion. Their best ever performance here, though, of course, July 2007 when they beat Wigan in the Challenge Cup semi-final. So they have had their moments on this ground of the Catalan Dragons. Have they got another one coming here tonight? That's a neat kick from Todd Carney.
Yeah.
He's the man who knows how to slow a game down when things are going slightly awry for you.
Yeah, well, they were getting a little bit erratic. He just put himself in a good position on that blind side. Worried about the ball keeping in play. He wants to make sure that they have a little bit of a rest. He knows that there's quite a few of his players, especially the forwards, are struggling to get air.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
You can see them slowing it down very much before they pack the scrum down. It's been a rough, tough encounter.
18 points the Catalan Dragons have scored, 18 minutes remaining. This is Rhys Evans. Warrington beginning this set from the scrum, deep in their own territory. Leeds have won. I think we can say that with some assurance. 2 wins in successive matches for the beleaguered Leeds Rhinos. Here's Ashton Sims, meanwhile, for Warrington. All this now at the other end of the field. Pellissier could have been penalised for a flop, and is.
Well, that's the game, Steve-O. Warrington need to keep the discipline. Simple stuff. Catalan, when you watch them enough, when it gets in the final quarter and the game's in the balance, they try to change. They play differently. They play on emotion, and sometimes that works for them, and sometimes it works against them.
Yeah, well, the captain Remy Cassie will not be impressed. He'd already completed the tackle, and then for Pellissier to come in and give the opposition an opportunity of another set of 6.
Darrell Clark is a dummy half. Here is Jack Hughes again for Warrington. They're inching now towards the Catalan Dragons line, looking for a crucial score, or what could be a crucial score. Darrell Clark. And down he goes under the pressure of 4 tacklers.
He tried his best to milk the penalty. Campbell said no way.
Gidley to Westerman, Westerman to Sandow. It went behind Sandow.
Great stuff.
That was Dijon, wasn't it? Came in as the right centre. Snuffed out that effort.
Gidley, short ball to Sims. Sims out the back, finds Hughes. Hughes turns it right and gives it to Evans. And Evans is halted, and that was the 5th. Here comes the last then.
Got to be the dribble. Put the dribble through.
Goes wide and collected in the in-goal area by Gigot, and they bring it back to the 20 and tap away, and here they go.
That was good work. Quick tap. Very good work by Gigot.
Todd Carney taking on Sandow.
You know, it looks like the Catalan team, the petrol warning sign's been flashing for 5 or 10 minutes now, and so many of the players can't even get up with the play the ball. They're drifting behind, but it's a brave effort from them. Fascinating whether they can hold out for the last 15.
Well, here's the young man, Jordan Desaria, another 19-year-old from Avignon on his Super League debut.
Oh, that's a knock-on. He tried to pick it up on the run.
He's quicksilver, Pellissier. He can be too quick at times.
But Catalan will present opportunities like this. As I said, they play very much from the heart. What Warrington can't do, when that kick came in on the last set of 6, when they were attacking their opponent's line, everybody was offside. And Pellissier, he's a smart player for Catalan. He's a lot like Ian Henderson in many ways. Gets under the skin of opponents, makes a nuisance of himself. People lose the discipline, lose the composure, and they feed off the back of that, the Dragons.
It was a definite fumble by Pellissier, but did that go backwards, Stuart, from the play of the ball?
Well, it certainly looked like it went back. There was also the collision with Clark on Battieri, which was probably worth a look as well.
Yeah, the knees went straight into the loose forward, Battieri. Got away with it though.
Gidley then to Hughes for Warrington. They're still inside their own half of the field. They'll get across the halfway line on the next tackle. In fact, they'll get across the halfway line now.
You know, Warrington's got to come up with something a little bit different. You can see that the Catalans do not have a full-back that's dropped back. This is an opportunity for the likes of Sandow. Little chip over the top. He's seen it.
Clark attacking this line. Pelissier gets to him, brings him down.
Still no full back into the position.
It's Westerman now. Here is Gidley. Gidley then to Sandow back on the inside.
Crunched.
He felt that, did Sandow?
Did he ever? There was a big red cross as he got that inside pass.
Well, they don't want Sandow to be injured and leave the field in a situation like this, and looking forward to what's to come.
Well, it's Roman Navarrete, isn't it? Number 30 who's involved in that tackle. He was pretty pleased with himself. Can't believe that just over 2 years ago he was actually playing for the Hemel Stags over here as his career as a rugby player began to develop. Just about does enough there, doesn't he, to stop Chris Sandow on that inside pass he received from his teammates.
And Sandow is receiving some treatment here. There is Desiree on his Super League debut.
That's 4 when you're ready. Sounds on. 4.
This now is Darryl Clark. Clark finds Gidley, and here is Rhys Evans, fed by Hughes. He goes down on the last tackle. So the boot from Gidley again, over to this left-hand side. The cavalry arrive, the ball is bounced down. Here goes Todd Carney. Here goes Todd Carney. Todd Carney, has he got the legs to go from one end of the field to the other? Kevin Penny's chasing him. He gets the ball over the top brilliantly. This is Escaray. Here is Jody Broughton. A fantastic Catalan Dragons try. Absolutely fantastic.
Touches is on for a late challenge on the initial kick.
Really?
Kurt Gidley, I think it's Elwar Pelissier who's involved in the collision. And Elwar Pelissier, when he's involved in it, he puts his hands up straight away to say, I'm sorry.
Well, Stuart, this will be one of the tries of the season that could be chalked off.
Is it important not to watch this in slow motion?
Well, both his feet are off the floor. Slow motion or...
There's contact with the head, isn't there? That's the thing.
Well, that's silly play. He already came up with a knock-on previous that allowed Warrington to get into a good position, and there's no need for it. Why on earth has he done that? He said, I'm sorry, he gave himself up. This is no try.
Well, Jody Broughton has been denied. I think we can gather that because they're not looking at the grounding. One of the tries of the season chalked off, and Elwar Pelissier.
Penalty down here.
Penalty down the other end of the field.
You know, that's got to be a yellow card almost, isn't it, if it's a penalty there? Looks messy.
Whenever a player has both feet off the floor and he ends up round the head of an opponent, talks about Pelissier, when he runs the ball and threatens so much, but it's in this area of his game that he lets himself down, and ultimately he's let his team down, because that could have been the game for the Dragons.
Yeah, it could have been, and he didn't have to do it, and he knows it. Remember the knock-on. I know it was high, but surely after Chris Campbell, the official, did nothing in the first half when Ashton Sims came up with a far worse swinging arm that did not produce a yellow card.
Well, it's going to be the D word that gets the win in this one. It's discipline.
Keep him down. Tells you warning. Keep him down.
He's had a warning. It's a penalty, and I think that they have sent the kicking tee on for Kurt Gidley to have the penalty shot at goal. And yes,
it's in a pretty good position as well. Tony Smith realises that this Catalan defence has held out under so much pressure.
Well, Pelissier was reckless, but one of the tries of the season chalked off.
Wasn't it a shame? And he's such a good player as well, Pelissier.
That's what you do get with him, though. You get a little bit of hot-headedness.
His
temperament's a question at times.
His temperament gets him in places, and he takes advantage of it.
Well, he's French.
Mike, good work there, Mike.
And they have a habit of getting hot-tempered.
All of them.
And people in Yorkshire don't. Is that what you're telling us?
We are very calm, cool and collected, as this man has to be. It is a vital 2 points.
It is huge kick, this, because this will level it up with 12 minutes of this game remaining if he kicks it. And of course Kurt Gidley does, to the relief and delight of the crowd inside this stadium. 12 to go and we're level pegging. It's third against fourth. Warrington and Catalan Dragons. Such is the pressure at the top of the table. A draw probably is not the result either club would want.
Well, the Dragons, the Warrington side have to get something from this game, a point at the very least, otherwise they'll lose touch with the three teams above them, and they can't afford for that to happen, even at this stage in the season. That's a bit towering kick here now from Pat Richards. You really wouldn't want to be under this, but the pressure is going to be on.
Now 4 matches to go at the end of this, and look at the score. Look at the score at Salford, 31-30 to the Huddersfield Giants. As I say, 4 to go till the big split into the 8s, and then 7 games will decide who finishes 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will have the chance of getting to Old Trafford. And Ashton Sims just manages to hang on.
I bet his heart was in his mouth then. Answer to all his prayers. Please let me catch this ball.
And the knees answered the prayers.
His knees, his ankles, he was going to use anything at his disposal.
Here he is again. Oof, what a big hit that was.
Well, the message has got out to the fullback, Morgan Escaré, that he's very, very deep indeed, anticipating the kick. That is great positional play.
Morgan Escaré safe under the high ball. There's hands all over the football as the player is tackled. He hangs on though.
He's had a big game as a fullback, Escaré. You know, Warrington have peppered him with nearly everything, and he's come up trumps.
Jody Broughton denied a try. Pellissier gets the ball away.
They need to get the halfway line down to Catalan. They understand the importance of making sure that the final kick, and they've got over that there.
Good work again from Navarre.
Got to be Tom Carney, control of this, he's got it.
And it's kick down the line.
We're okay.
10 minutes remaining. Picked up by Ratchford.
That was a smart play by Carney. Didn't put too much power on it, got the back spin. It was only a split second, but look at that, 31-30, they've just got home.
Danny Bruff's drop goal, I understand, snatching the win for Huddersfield. We're tight here, it might come down to a drop goal. We're certainly in your territory, Steve-O, here.
Oh, without a doubt, both coaches will send out the message. But can Warrington get into a decent position?
Well, that's the thing.
That'll be the fourth.
They've got 2 left to get up the other end and have a chance of a shot at goal. Oh, there's a penalty, and the young man, Desiree, just couldn't get out of the way.
Well, he just laid there, and he made no attempt, and that's inexperience. That's a shame for the youngster. He should have tried to attempt to get out of the way.
I think it was a lack of oxygen, not a lack of awareness, wasn't it? He just couldn't move.
Well, Darrell Clark actually passed the ball into him, which is what penalty was given for.
Van Curry! Almost through. Escaré held on to his leg. Here is Darrell Clark now. Darrell Clark going for the line. Oh, has he got this down?
I think he's lost it. He's trying to celebrate, but I think he may have lost that. It's a wonderful effort from the hooker. He's trying to convince everybody, but I think deep down he'll be thinking, I think I may have lost possession.
Well, the referee's given it as no try on the field. Does he remain in possession of the ball on the way down?
I think he's lost it.
Well, it looks like, is it Jody Broughton gets underneath him there?
Yeah.
And the ball is loose, so what is the decision, Stuart, if it is no try?
Well, if he's lost it over the line, it will be a 20-metre restart. If it's short of the line when he loses it,
if it's a pinch, it is.
Well, there'll be a ball, so there will be a penalty.
Or has he lost possession? That's the question. Robert Hicks.
Well, it's no try, Stuart, on the field, so they've got to find definitive proof.
They have. I think what else you have to look at there is that there are hands around the ball. Is there any attempt to steal the ball? Which obviously will be a different restart with a penalty to Warrington.
It's difficult. This is a big decision.
It's a massive decision. It's a massive decision because Broughton is underneath it, but is there a hand that has nicked it out of Darrell Clark's grasp?
Well, we've had a couple of no tries in the second half.
The
Is it
ball
going to be
comes
there?
free. I don't think he's got the ball down, Stuart. It's a question of how you restart, isn't
I don't
it?
think he's got it down. I can't see anywhere that anybody's stolen the ball, so I think this will be a knock-on in goal.
Tries denied.
Simon, fellas, no try.
This will be interesting. How do we restart
Oh,
the
it's a
game?
ball steal. He's had the word in his ear. It was a ball steal.
Penalty for a ball steal. Ball steal off
Well,
Pelissier.
will they take... Oh, well, it's way out on the left-hand side. Will they send the kicking tee on again for Kirk Gidley?
Well, I would, because you'll guarantee that you'll get the ball back.
And there's your answer. Yes, they will.
The option of the two, even if he misses, he knows he'll be confident to make sure that there's enough power that the Catalans will drop out from underneath the sticks if it misses.
Are we convinced that that was a ball steal?
Stands back on.
Well, I don't think there's any definitive proof of the ball stolen there. You know, it certainly looks like there's a lot of hands around the ball, but you can't see anybody actually take it.
I'm with you, Stuart. And Robert Hicks is confident that the penalty should be given to their home side. Not too convinced.
Well, this is going to be one hell of a kick if Kirk Gidley gets this.
It's a long way out, isn't it?
I mean, if anybody can, this fella can. He has been exceptional with the boot in this his debut season for the Warrington Wolves. He's got 3 from 4 tonight. And Kirk Gidley, if you look in his CV, only Andrew Johns, the great Andrew Johns, has scored more points for Newcastle. Only Danny Badeiras made more appearances for Newcastle Knights in the NRL. He is an icon in that particular part of the world, and he might well be offered the freedom of the town here if he kicks this tonight for the Warrington Wolves to push them 2 points ahead with just 7.5 minutes remaining. Catalan Dragon supporters are holding their breath, as is everyone in this ground. Gidley has kicked it!
What an effort. There are times in every player's career where you know experience counts, and that is right into the middle.
Wonderful kick from Kirk Gidley. 34 years young, 12 times in Australian international, 12 times in the heat of battle in the state of origin for New South Wales. So now the Catalan Dragons have to come from behind in the last 7. It is a cracking contest. Ashton Sims.
And you've got to give a lot of credit, haven't you? That's the final score. Leeds have beaten them easy. But it's now up to the Warrington side to make sure that they keep possession.
Well, Leeds and Huddersfield have both won away from home tonight for the first time in 2016. Can the Catalan Dragons do likewise? Not for the first time, but win away from home. At the last tackle, Warrington. Sandow's kick will find touch, he hopes. No, he's gone up the middle, inviting Curry to chase it. Oh, and almost a mistake between Broughton and Escaray. Broughton takes control of the situation.
Got to be careful, Warrington. Make sure they've got him offside. I said be careful. It's just a lack of concentration at the vital moment. And you'll see that Joe Westerman just can't get squared up after he's played the ball.
And he had hands on the player as he tried to play the ball.
It's amazing, you know, pressure. Full-time professionals, it just gets to them at times.
So here come the Catalan Dragons. Time is of the essence. Barry McDermott is getting ready to go live on Facebook at the end of the game here. And Michael Monaghan will have plenty to talk about with John Wells on the touchscreen here on Sky Sports 1. What will he be talking about? A victory or a defeat as Busquets takes it forward again for the Catalan Dragons? Coming up to the last 5 minutes. Pelissier to Carney, to Glenn Stewart. Good work by Curry. Carney will come up the middle now with Navarre. Good run from Navarre.
Yes, Chris.
Last tackle coming up here then. And it is Albert gets it away. Casti, back it goes to Albert. Albert trying to stab it through. Still Fox tackled, not played at. Navarre again. Here is Carney. Carney, it's opened up suddenly for Carney. Carney flings the ball back. It's all over the shop. The ball is going everywhere. No, it isn't. and it's a knock-on.
Sheer panic out there.
Well, understandably, when you're in the last 4.5 minutes.
That's a knock-on there, and you can see for Navarre that just did not anticipate the knockback.
Chris Hill is down with cramp in back play. No wonder. No wonder.
Well, it's a good time to have cramp, isn't it?
Ashton, let's go.
Just eat up the clock. Okay, we know the official stopped it, but you know they got the and the referee said get on with it.
Well, they've achieved
good referee.
They've achieved great things this year. Have the Dragons without the likes of Taylor, Anderson, Myler, Horrow, Aiton, Muniz, plus some others. They're all missing tonight. And if they snatch a victory here, it will be one of their greatest performances of the season. They've got 4 minutes to keep Warrington back in their own half of the field or springboard up the other end. Here is Gidley. He brushes away from Pelissier. Wonder what he is thinking now after that rash challenge that ruled that Jody Broughton try out. Here is Jack Hughes, and Hughes gets them just 32, 33 metres away on the last. And here is Gidley all the way into the sideline, and the scrum will form and Catalan will be in a hurry to get this clock stopped.
Yeah, neat play by Gidley. We saw the experience coming to the fore when he took that penalty right over on the touchline, right between the sticks, over the crossbar, sufficient. 2 points. Not only 2 points in front, but 2 very valuable league points as well.
Yes, they are valuable league points to both of these sides.
Now,
will the ferocity of this contest tonight?
Will Catalan do something that is extremely rare in Super League? Warrington have no full-back in position. Do they kick from the base of the scrum and get the likes of Broughton to chase it?
It would be brave. It would be brave at this stage. Although you might as well throw the dice because they've only got 3.5 minutes to play.
It's out, it's out!
And here comes Glenn Stewart.
Forward pass! Oh, what an error. You said they should have thrown the dice. They dropped the dice. I'm not so sure that they've got that right.
No, Pelissier has not had the night to remember.
No. He has had a shocker, but I'm not so sure about it. You can't tell from that angle, but boy, the fans down here. And this is up the jumper time.
It is. It is, with 3 minutes and 7 seconds remaining.
Kirk Gidley has just told everybody, just calm it down. We have the game in the bag. No error.
Time's on.
From Clark, it finds its way to Sandow. Here now is Westerman, clattered to the floor on the first tackle.
Well, the game he's had as well. He's run himself to a standstill. Oh, big hit on Hill.
It was by Casty and company. Chris Hill, who had cramp not long ago. This now Darrell Clark. Is it time for Warrington to seal this match once and for all? Catalan will have one more go at them. Slowly to his feet, Clark. Here is Chris Hill.
That's the best way. Up the jumper. Make sure it goes dead in goal.
Or Steve-O, your favourite.
No, they won't bother about the one.
Sandow gets it to the in-goal area, and they get the repeat set. No, they don't. It's a 20-metre restart.
Oh, it must have. Atkins is saying, well, surely that didn't come off me. There's Broughton. You know, I think they've got it right.
Yes, it does.
Oh, boy, this could just be an error that could cost them dearly. Ratchford has gone back. He's not taking any chances.
Drive forward again by the Catalan Dragons.
Well, Pelissier, you say Pelissier is at a poor game. He's come up with so many errors. Can he be from zero to hero?
Well, here he is now. He gets the ball away to Carney. Carney then drops the ball off to Gigot. 4 tackles gone. Wasn't Gigot, my apologies. Batieri it was. Oh, through the arms of Stewart, knock on, that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think Warrington have got the win.
It wasn't the best pass, it was dipping. And you could see also that Glenn Stewart just had A little bit of a glance at the defensive line. The fans and they've every right to be. It's been a struggle from both sides. Defence has been on top. But at least the error count has been a lot lower than what we saw last week, mainly due to torrential rain that we had last weekend.
Well, there's been plenty of penalties. 12 for Warrington, 9 for the Catalan Dragons, 17 scrums. It's been a little bit disjointed, nonetheless. 20 points to 18, though. Unless Warrington do something silly in the next minute and a quarter, the game's up for the Dragons, and Warrington will get 2 points that will take them to within 2 of the 2 clubs sitting first and second in the table, Hull FC and the Wigan Warriors.
Well, don't run the risk of trying to get the intercept. Sims tried to con the referee up the jumper. That's what they got to do. Do not pass it. That means that they can't get an intercept.
Good run from Russell that. 45 seconds and counting. Darrell Clark now. Up the middle he goes again. That's number 4. Darrell Clark, surprise, surprise, is hurt. Time's off, says the referee, with 34 seconds remaining.
Well, one more drive and then just pump the ball over the whitewash.
Is he saying he got a finger in the eye here?
Are you okay?
Maybe he did. Escaray with a stray finger.
Yeah, just I don't think it was, well, certainly not intentional, but you can see there that he's in a lot of problems.
My apologies to Darrell Clark for even intimating that he might be feigning injury at such a late stage of the contest, but we have seen it done before.
Oh yes, and he is a professional. He knows exactly what's needed. And what a game he's had. Morgan Escaray, they put him under so much pressure, and it's quite frankly, I don't think he deserves to be on the losing side, but it appears that way with only seconds remaining.
Well, a neutral would say draw is a fair result, but there's no neutrality in this stadium tonight in Primrose and Blue.
And these are 2 valuable league points for Warrington. I just can't see, unless, as I say, they're silly enough to throw a looping pass that's intercepted. This should go over the whitewash.
Last one coming up. 3-7s. He'll turn it over 10 metres away.
Hand over. Hands off.
18 seconds.
Yes, he's called time off.
Wait for me.
17 now.
Right, let's throw the dice. Here we go.
Kick and chase.
Thought about it. You wonder. Ryan Atkins almost stole the ball. They have stolen the ball. It's Ryan Atkins for Warrington. The ball is down on the deck. Ashton Sims has claimed it. And the full-time whistle sounds. Warrington have won. Warrington have won by 2 points. A vital 2 points as well. And the Catalan Dragons will point to that moment when Elwar Pelissier went high in the build-up to a Jody Broughton 100-metre try. They went from one end of the field to the other. The try was chalked off, and from that moment on, the Catalan Dragons really were playing catch-up, because Gidley added 2 penalties late on. One from that incident, 8 minutes with the game remaining, and they